Hello, my dear apprentices. This is your coach, Mr. Magno, and we're looking at the problems from Module 4, Lesson 16. All right, let's get to it. Joachim is icing 30 cupcakes. So that's your total right there. They're giving you the answers on the problem. So that says that the total is 30 cupcakes, right? So you create a tape diagram and make sure you label this tape diagram with the total, which is 30 cupcakes. So I'm going to write 30 cupcakes right there on the top. So that is your total. Now, your next step is he spreads mint icing on 1/5 of the cupcakes. So look at that. They give us the answer right here. They're telling us how many parts are in the whole. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to show how many parts. So that's going to be, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 division, so we get 5 parts, and it says that 1/5 only. So we're gonna he spreads mint icing on this one, 1/5. Okay, so this is 1/5, 1/5. Now this I'm gonna label. They put mint lowercase, mint icing, and I'm doing this labeling because that makes it easier for me to see the let me make this smaller. Okay, mint icing. So that's mint icing. That's how much that he put on it, right? And now let's continue with the problem. Let's read it carefully. Now it says 1/5 of the cupcakes. He spreads mint icing on 1/5 of the cupcakes, and chocolate on 1/2 of the remaining. Now that's key, my friends. When you hear the remaining, that means this part right here. And what is the remainder? Well, that's 4/5. If you look at that and count, that's going to say 4/5, okay? And when you identify that this is the remaining part, then you're going to use the information that is given to you. So if you say, look, it says, and chocolate on 1/2 of the remaining cupcakes. So that means half of this, half will be, well, let me do the other one. I think I like that one better. Half of this now of the remaining ones, and those are going to be chocolate, okay? And let me label that again, chocolate. This is how it's easier to understand when you label things. All right, now it says, and chocolate on 1/2 of the remaining cupcakes. The rest will be vanilla icing. So how many cupcakes are vanilla icing? Okay, so first of all, we're gonna find out how much is this 4/5 out of 30. Okay, and that's how we're gonna find our answer. So we're gonna say, okay, so 4/5, which 4/5 is the remaining part. Let me use my equation tool. So 4/5, my remaining part of, which means multiplication. That means of, and the number of the total is 30. Now remember that when we have a whole number times a fraction, we write the one that is always there but is never utilized until we multiply it by a fraction. All right, so we can do two things right here. We can look at the numerators 4 and 30, and we can look at the denominators 5 and 1. And I noticed that 30 can be divided by 5, and 5 can be divided by 30. Because of your knowledge of multiplication, this is how you know this. You look for numbers that can be divided by the same number. So now remember, when you do this, the 30 and the 5 must be divided by a number that is the same on the numerator and denominator. In this case, 5/5. Now, 30 divided by 5 equals 6. Because 6 times 5 equals 30. And 5 divided by 5 equals 1. So now we know that any number divided by 1 is going to yield the same number. So now we know the answer up here. So here, let's do this. So now Remember, here's what I'm going to show you. So now the 30 is no longer a 30. I'm going to cross it out. And instead of the 30, we're going to write the 5 because we simplified it, okay? And instead of the 5 as the denominator, we're going to write the 1. All right, so let me show you that. So these are going to be crossed out because we replaced them. We reduced them to a lowest term. So we're going to rewrite that 4 times. I'm not writing the 30. I'm going to write the 6 that replaced it, okay? And now, well, let me see if I can do this. No, it's not going to let me do this. I think, so I'm going to do that 4 times a 6, okay? And now the 5 is not a 5, it's a 1 times 1. And guess what? When you do that, it's easier to find the answer. 4 times 6 equals 24, okay, over 1. And look at this. Any number divided by 1 is always the same number. So the answer is 24. Now, let's identify this. So 4/5, okay, so here's what you need to remember. 4/5 of 30 equals 24. So that means this whole thing, this 4/5 right here, this 4/5 equals 24 cookies only, not the 30. Okay, so now if you look at the math of this, you have 30 cookies and 4/5 is 24. So this right here, this, if you do this, this is going to be based on what we just found out. Every 1/5 equals 6. Why? Because if you do the math, so this should equal 24. This one right here, this 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 6 equals 24. That's it, right? So now we know that chocolate are, if you add up these 2 right here, that will be 12. And if you add up these 2, that will be 12. Okay? So now the question is, how many cupcakes have vanilla icing? Well, the cupcakes that have vanilla icing are these ones that are not colored. These ones right here. Those are the vanilla icing. So what's the answer? The answer is 12. 6 plus 6. So then you write your statement, okay? 12 cupcakes have vanilla icing. And that's how you solve this problem, my friends. I hope you learned something here, and review the video if you need more assistance with it. Signing out, your coach, Mr. Magno.